Kid Buu is a rising Florida rapper who's recently gained attention with songs like Death to SoundCloud and Double Up with Ski Master Slump God. But early in 2018, Miami-Dade court records from 2008 surfaced, showing that Kid Buu, born Marquez Lau Santiago, pled guilty to charges of child abuse, obstruction of justice, robbery, and criminal mischief. Then, in September 2018, a woman named Sarah Penman released a 49-minute viral YouTube video accusing the rapper of being a compulsive liar and being emotionally abusive. She claims he lied about his age and about having a daughter. Kid Buu sat down with XXL to explain his side of the story while also discussing his claims of being a second-generation clone, his interactions with aliens, and having his brain washed. What's up, guys? I'm JFK, here with XXL. We're sitting with Kid Buu, up-and-coming rapper from Florida. He has some pretty big records, Death to SoundCloud and Double Up. But he's also had a bunch of controversies. So thank you for coming through and sitting with us. I really just wanted to talk about some of the reports that have been circulating sort of around you. Earlier this year, there was some reports circulating that was saying that, some pretty serious charges you have. Obstruction of justice, robbery, criminal mischief, and also child abuse.
Don't forget intimidating, threatening a witness, allegedly as well.
Exactly, yeah. So I want to get sort of your side on that. Is there any accuracy to that? How do you feel about that?
There's a lot of things that are wrong with that. For example, just to address the big elephant in the room, the child abuse is in fact labeled child abuse with no harm, which I know that'll sound confusing to a lot of viewers. Right. Like, how could something be abused if no harm is done?
Right.
Well, it is very confusing, and I learned the hard way by Florida adding that charge to me because someone had called the police and did say that I was intimidating and threatening a witness to not testify on a friend, and that's what they allegedly was trying to lock me up for. Now, giving those details, that person also did not want to testify against me for that charge. Florida picked up the charges. When you play with Florida, they make things sound even more nasty than what it needs to be. Yeah, so they did that, and we just came to an agreement. I was like, I'm just going to plead guilty for my own convenience to move on with life. Did a probation, and what's funny is that actually happened in Miami, not Tampa. I know a lot of the memes I see say Tampa, but Tampa is in fact just when I violated my probation.
Gotcha.
Which was like smoking weed. I violated it. When I was a youth, I did like a lot of just stupid stuff, hanging around with the wrong crowds and stuff like that. And simple things like that, but you'd be surprised what will separate the difference from, like, in America when they really say, hey, you're 18, you're an adult now, you're an adult. But right. Be careful if someone's around you, even if they're fucking 17 or 16, be mindful of that.
Gotcha. At that time, how old were you?
Exactly that, just fresh to turning 18.
Just turned 18? Okay. And the case was, you said it was intimidating a witness?
Yeah, allegedly is what they were trying to play something.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen, is what you're saying?
Not as how they put it. They tried to say that I put a gun to the individual and was threatening them, saying if you do this, this will happen, but I never did any of that.
So what exactly happened with the person that, they said was a minor?
Well, he's fine. I mean, he or she was fine. They never even had to go to court for anything. In fact, it was almost instant that they were out of the picture. Florida was just mostly in the picture. So it was me against the state of Florida, as opposed to me against the quote-unquote abused victim. It really wasn't anyone.
So how old was the alleged victim?
I think maybe like 16, around 17 years old.
Okay.
He was definitely under the what is considered the legal age of being an adult in America, and that's where things got a bit, I guess, twisted there.
Got you. And was this in 2009?
Oh, I can't remember. Okay. That's so long ago. I was a baby then.
Gotcha.
I was really young.
Gotcha.
It's crazy.
Nice. Okay, can you take me just sort of to the day that happened? Like what exactly sort of happened?
Oh, I wish I could tell you because I can't even kind of revert back to anything further past than 6 years. There's a thing I like to say where my memory was wiped. But I did undergo a brainwashing process that did erase and eliminate a lot of things that are considered negative. And the reason for it is to make me the conscious individual that I am today. It eliminates anything that is aggressive in the mind, anything that is just is going to be toxic to you or your livelihood. And for that reason, a lot of stuff is like really hard to remember. Like even like stuff from my childhood, it's just really hard to remember. It's almost as if never was there.
Wow.
I've even undergo like hypnosis therapy and whatnot to kind of like get rid of a lot of bad things from the past.
Tell me a little bit about the brainwashing, you know, having the negative memories zapped from your consciousness.
It's about 7-8 years ago I joined what is called the Raylan movement, and they do a number of things to help humanity progress.
Right.
But one of the things they do is called a Happiness Academy, and one of the things that happened there is this exercise. And now brainwashing, some people get like, they, you know, like, whoa, that sounds like a bad word you just said.
Right.
Washing means cleansing. Cleanliness is what? Close to godliness, they say. So how is washing your brain bad? You grew up, a lot of people just force-feeding you all these toxic ideas, you know, this religion's good. We're Catholic, you can be Catholic now, son. Anyone who's not Catholic, they're bad.
Right.
You know? We're this, we're that. And some people even instill racism into their children, it's sad. So it's important to brainwash yourself. Imagine a kid, American, born in a let's say South, like Florida, somewhere like that, kind of like a predominantly white area where we do know there's some white supremacy there, and he's force-fed this type of belief to think that people of color are wrong. But for some reason, when he goes to school, he makes friends with a kid of color, and he can't help but like want to be friends with this person. They like the same stuff. Maybe it's Pokemon or something. They just relate. And he wants to be something in his heart, inside of him. Everything says, I want to be friends with this person, but it's wrong. Someone dirty that child's mind to believe this is wrong for you to be friends with this person because they have color different from you. You know, that person should have every right to grow up and brainwash themselves for all positive reasons. You know, he can cleanse his mind, erase those thoughts that his parents instilled into him, and he can be friends with anyone and everyone if he wanted to, whether they're Asian, Latino, Black, whatever.
How do you feel you're different from pre-brainwashing to now?
Entirely different human being, from intellect to my intelligence, even the way, I mean, I never loved before. I was full of hate. I never smiled. Everyone like, why so serious? Oh, life is serious. It's like, I don't know what life was. I just freaking, you know, just hit puberty not too long ago. Like, how do you even know what's going on? It's like your whole life's ahead of you.
So there's a little bit more I want to touch on. You know, in September of this year, a woman named Sarah Penman, who claimed to be your ex-girlfriend, she posted a video to YouTube, and she was talking about a lot of different things. She claimed that you were emotionally abusive. She said that you lied about your age and that you also were hiding a daughter. Is there any truth to the things that she was saying in that video?
No, absolutely not. For starters, it's a girl I met on Tinder.
Okay.
Who, yeah, like, you know, I'm in Canada. I don't know anyone, so it's like it's very cold out there, and the thing to do, and I know all people in Canada watching will know this. When winter comes, it's like a cuffing season. It's a long winter, fam. So you want to make sure you get a bad ting, and you're like, you know, stay at my crib, you good, so Uber Eats, whatever. We're just chilling here, and some people, I guess they need to define something more, if it's more than a friendship, and it's unfortunate when you have to bring certain things to light to them, like, look, it's just what it is. Right. You know, I have to go to America, you must stay here, it was nice knowing you. And eventually, what's this now, clout chasing is a thing. Right. Yeah, everyone, they see you get famous, like, I dated you, over a year ago, did so many nice things to you, you know, paid for plastic surgery for you, many nice gifts. You know, why would you want to even slander my name? Even did kind things for your family. Right. It's just wrong, but at the end of the day, I just chuck it out to clout. Right. People want to, you know, they just want fame, whatever. Not everyone, but people like that. They just want fame, and they're willing to do anything and everything, even if it's dishonor someone who was a kind friend in the past, and make up lies. And as far as like my daughter, that's not. I mean, everyone knows my daughter. Like, like if you had me on social media at any point, it's like it's through there. You know, it's not a secret. So it's just a lot of things. Like I said, were just created to make people feed into it.
How does it feel to know that, you know, some people, you know, they might like your music, but they don't necessarily know how to feel about you because of the things that are just out there that are sort of floating, you know, rumors and, you know, controversial things?
Well, I think that comes with the territory. The second that, like, I mean, everyone in this room probably has something deep and dark secret. Right. I'm pretty sure everyone. But we wouldn't know. until enough people try to, like, you know, to kick over some rocks and find something. There's always something. Even if it's just something like that you think is major, maybe it's like, you know, it's nothing to everyone, or vice versa. Maybe it's nothing to you and everything to everyone. Like, for example, all the stuff everyone's quote unquote digging up is public information that, I mean, I don't care. It's like decades ago.
Right.
Literally decades ago. It's like, why? Like, who cares? I don't. But if you do, then that's fine. And it's only drawing more attention, which is good, because I have a powerful message that I do want to share with the youth. And in time, as interviews unfold, they'll get to see the person behind the music and start to realize, dang, I feel like I was swindled into thinking he was a bad guy, because that's why I liked him. You know, everyone wants to go against the grain, and kids are like, your parents say, don't be this, don't be that person, don't do that. They immediately run to that person as a role model.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be the first one to not be like, hey, as your role model, I want you to dye your hair like this, look like that, and do this. And it'll be different. You know, I'll be like, hey, you know, this is what I believe and this is what I think. What do you guys think about that? Not even trying to press it onto them, but more so just sharing with them, like, who I actually am. I stopped really wanting to sell the artist or Kid Buu in interviews or the music itself, and mainly just let people, like, know who I am, the creator, who created this, you know, what creative mind is responsible behind not just this music or whatever, this image of a persona of Kid Buu, but more so the person, the intelligent mind that invented him behind that, who's behind the curtain.
You've said that, you know, you're a second generation clone. You've shared your registration number. Tell me, like, how that sort of story started.
The Raylan movement that I found about 7 or 8 years ago, I didn't find the movement. It was founded by Rael.
Right.
I found them, the people, like, it was through an experience I had. I plan on sharing soon on, like, a story time.
Okay.
But to sum it up, my mother's boyfriend and I were on the highway, and we encountered a UFO. And it just left me into searching for what is behind, what is more, what is this, and I came across the aliens. And let's say if we rewound time and I found them in their earlier years, when they were just making all these claims that just seem outrageous, I probably would have veered away, I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
But the fact that I found it so later on, that the claims they made were already accomplished, and it's something of the past, and not just of the past, but something forgotten. I don't know how the hell people are not still talking about the fact that some dude claimed he met extraterrestrials who made us, and then weeks later, that same dude comes up with a formula with these other scientists with no educational background and cloned the first sheep here on Earth. And the kids can look it up. You can Google it. Viewers can Google it.
Right.
We cloned the first sheep. And then years after, we would clone the first human girl, Eve. And a friend of mine, Bridget, she's one of the scientists responsible for that. She's also a member of the Raylan movement. And even recently, she's been getting a lot of press because of it. I think more so because I've been mentioning the cloning thing. It's kind of like re-stirred that back up, because they were fresh in the 70s, 80s, you know, 90s, things start going like this, and internet distraction, more and more and more, and people just, whatever about that stuff. That's weird, that's whatever. I kind of want to refresh that, you know, re-amplify his voice, Rael, and his messages. Because what he talks about is just like, why aren't we still talking about today? Why haven't we progressed since then? Think about that. Like, really think about that. Why haven't we progressed since that point on till now? So many years have passed. If when the Wright brothers created the plane, did you know 30 years later we touched on the moon? That's a very small span to go from, hey, look, I'm flying, to, hey, look, I'm on the moon. Why haven't we advanced technologically since then, since the first sheep or human was cloned?
Good question.
Godinizing?
Say that again?
Godinizing.
What's that?
That's what's limiting the progression of it. It's a law that prohibits us to recreate human. In other words, you cannot do anything that is God-like. So if it's not real, if cloning is something like a lot of these people say, oh, that's not real, that's make-believe stuff, well, do your research. You know, Dolly, she was made. Eve, she was made. And so forth and so forth. It's a thing. Like, do your research. It's there. It's in black and white ink. People, like, read about it.
Well, I think that's all I got for you. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming sitting down with us. It's been dope.
It was a pleasure, honestly. Yeah, it was dope.
Same here. All right.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, guys.